You're watching KRCR News Channel 7 at 5:30. Get the facts right.
Fires continue to burn in the North State, causing hazy skies with dangerous air quality conditions. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Julia Avery. Let's take a live look over Redding tonight from our Mercy Sky Cam. With us, we have First Alert forecaster Jeff Andrews coming right in with a look at our weather conditions. Good evening, Jeff.
Good evening, Julia. That view of the sky, it really translates well to our image here of the region and animation, our air quality index. You see the big area red, Redding right in the center of that, also included Red Bluff. Now, Chico and Oroville, more so in the moderate range. The air quality index, it goes up and down with the firefighting activity as well as the winds aloft. And the winds right now, actually, they're not all that bad. They are going to pick up a bit as we go into the evening, but it's not going to be like what we saw yesterday, all right? Wind gusts still pretty minimal at this point. Now, you go to the higher elevations like where the firefight is taking place, pretty close here. Trinity Camp at 3,300 feet, 85 degrees, and the wind gusts, 12 miles an hour, winds from the southwest at 6. Not all that bad. Redding right now 93 degrees, winds from the southwest at 8 miles an hour, very dry at 17%. Storm tracker via black and white, a lot of cloud cover with southwesterly flow across. It's really hard to make out the smoke plumes, which actually is okay. That means they're not that extensive. You can kind of see a little bit here where the Mendocino complex, as it gets towards sunset, we're going to lose that. Our visibility, planes, helicopters, they need at least 3 miles. Redding Airport right now, 6 miles, so that's a positive. We'll talk more about that shortly. Julia, back to you.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, at this morning's Carr fire briefing at the Shasta District Fairgrounds, CAL FIRE said wind and dry fuels challenged firefighters overnight last night. At the last update, the Carr fire is 41% contained at 154,524 acres. Fire officials say the fire has been burning constantly for the past few days and that the wind has been driving the fire in different directions from the west and from the north. They say because the wind has been blowing the fire against itself, fire crews have been able to focus on strengthening containment lines in the northwestern region. An island of unburned vegetation near French Gulch ignited yesterday, causing an alarming new smoke plume. Officials had to go back into French Gulch to evacuate the people who neglected the original evacuation orders. CAL FIRE says the evacuation orders they resent yesterday are just the same evacuations that have been in place since the fire first began.
So yesterday was the first day that French Gulch had no smoke. So with the sun, it basically preheated all that, brought it back up to ignition temperature, and that was able to burn out. It did cause a lot of alarm. If you're looking at any direction of the fire, you saw this huge plume, and because no one knew there was an unburned island in the center, they all assumed that it was on the perimeter. So the citizens of Lewiston thought that they were burning. People of the north, people of the south, everyone thought there was a huge fire on the perimeter, when really it was unburned fuel in the center of the fire. There were still residents in French Gulf, over 100 of them, that did not evacuate. So we had to send in sheriffs and police to re-evacuate French Gulch. It would be very sad if we lost sheriffs and firefighters to re-evacuate people we have already evacuated in an area. Okay, that would be like the ultimate tragedy. So just a note from our side, when we evacuate you, please leave.
CAL FIRE says as of this afternoon, fire crews have had a good handle on that spot fire near French Gulch. For an update on the areas of Lewiston and Igo, CAL FIRE showed us a colored progression map of the Carr fire that showed the distance of the fire to the two communities.
The colors are darker red, that's the most recent fire, and as they go to dark green, that's the oldest fire. So you can see the fire started here. If you come down here to Igo, you can see that it's yellow. That this burned probably 4 or 5 days ago. The latest fire that we're talking about is the darkest red, and so we're talking about the closest to Igo is up here, and so this is a bit away from the town of Igo. Thing you're looking at, we have the town of Lewiston right here, and so the fire has been moving in that direction, And so we've got more recent fire closer to Lewiston, but this is a big point of emphasis for us on this fire, is just making sure that we're able to get that fire controlled so it does not go into the town of Lewiston.
The fire chief in Lewiston said the city has more fire engines staged there than any fire ever in the past, ready to protect the city. He said the containment line is very strong and is expected to hold. Evacuation orders have been lifted and residents may return home in the following areas: Iron Mountain Road and Rock Creek Road area for residents only. Access into this area will only be via Keswick Dam Road west from the Keswick Dam. Residents entering this area will be required to provide documentation to verify that they are a resident. And if you missed our newscast yesterday, we want to go over the evacuation orders that were lifted, and residents may return home in the Land Park subdivision and Stanford Hills subdivisions, both only for residents. Access into the area for residents will be from Keswick Dam Road to Buenaventura Road. Access to Keswick Dam Road can be made from either Quartz Hill Road or Lake Boulevard. Some residents may only have limited access to their own properties due to safety concerns. The PG&E worker who was killed yesterday working in the area of the Carr fire has been identified as Jairus Ayeta. Ayeta was an apprentice lineman in his 20s. PG&E says Ayeta sustained fatal injuries in a vehicle-related accident. They also told us last night, quote, "The safety of our employees and customers is PG&E's top priority. Our thoughts and prayers are with our fallen team member, their family, and our extended team." As Ken Mashinshi reports, Ayeta was a man who always had a smile on his face.
It's a career often spent hanging from power lines, making sure communities have the power they need. Hearing that lineman Jairus Ayeta died Saturday sent shockwaves through the lineman community.
The minute I found out that a fellow lineman died, my phone started ringing off the hook.
Dr. Cedric Shelby has worked as a lineman for 25 years, even writing a book about the job called Life on the Line. Dr. Shelby was shocked to hear that Ayeta, who for the past year had lived a few houses down in Antelope, was the lineman who died Saturday while working near the Carr fire.
I didn't know that he was a fellow lineman. Just a good down-to-earth, low-key person. He's friendly, he speaks, or we'd talk about, what's going on in the community, that type of thing.
Friends of Ayeta said he was 21 years old and from Uganda. He worked as an apprentice lineman and was part of a PG&E crew working in dangerous terrain to restore power when he was involved in a vehicle-related accident. Dr. Shelby says Ayeta's death shows how dangerous the unsung work of a lineman is.
Before the firemen come out, we have to kill the power. You can't shoot water on electricity. We're doing a number of things getting ready, but then secondly, after the fire goes through, there's restoration. So we're putting up new lines, new power lines.
Dr. Shelby says Ayeta always had a smile on his face, and though his life was cut short, he should be celebrated for his accomplishments as a lineman.
You'd be surprised the number of people that try to become linemen never cut the mustard, like they say, for lack of a better word. But for him to have accomplished that from another country, and so he had a whole learning curve, he was able to do it and accomplish it. So he's well accomplished at 21 years old. So I'm impressed, quite impressed.
That was Ken Mashinshi reporting. We have a link to a fundraiser for Ayeta's family on our website, krcrtv.com. The American Red Cross wants to remind evacuees of shelters still open. Trinity High School, located at 321 Victory Lane in Weaverville, and Shasta College, located at 11555 Old Oregon Trail in Redding. The American Red Cross Wildfire Information Line, located here at the bottom of your screen, is available for updated information on shelter locations, meal locations, transportation, health services, disaster mental health services, and other opportunities for assistance. A semi-trailer load of donations from Church of Christ members across the nation has just arrived from Nashville, Tennessee, to help care for the need of our community's fire victims. Starting Monday, they will be distributing boxes of food, water, clothing, shoes, blankets, bedding, baby items, dust masks, personal care items, box of fans, and kits of cleaning equipment and supplies. The center is located at 3434 North Street in Anderson. They will be open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. as needed. They are closed on Saturdays and Sundays. A Valero gas station in Chico closed for 3 hours after officials were called in for a bomb threat. That story up next. Plus, questions continue. Let's take a
Pick it up. Closed captioning is provided by Teresa Snetzer with Vista Real Estate, professional service with outstanding results.
Welcome back. Glad you're with us. This low pressure system here, it's been kind of lingering, and really all that's come out of that is cooler temperatures, a little bit of cloud cover. And you can see as we roll through into Tuesday afternoon, kind of stays, a similar position. What we're really keeping an eye on, this ridge of high pressure begins its build-in, and watch as we go through the week. It really establishes itself. We have a hot week ahead, triple digits already by tomorrow. Close to 110 for some locations in the valley, potentially by Wednesday. Along with that, lighter winds tomorrow, and the elevated fire risk continues through the week, into the week. Sustained winds, these are winds at the surface. As we go into the evening, mainly from the northwest, also some winds coming along from the west too. Both around the Carr fire area. As far as the other end of the valley, we've got winds coming up from the south as we go into the evening. Now on the overnight, winds out of the north fairly light, and we start our day tomorrow. Very light winds. We're okay with that. The winds at the higher elevations, that's what really moves the smoke and the haze. On the overnight, kind of like it's been the last few days, they're coming down the north through the valley, pulling that ash and smoke in. Much lighter winds as we go into the day tomorrow. Overnight tonight, some locations like Bernie and Alturas in the 40s on the overnight, 50 for Chester. For the valley, middle 60s, 65 Reading, 66 for Chico on the overnight, 65 for Corning. Our significant fire potential for today and also for tomorrow, we look for the high-risk triggers, and really we don't want to see any, and that's the position we're in. We had the high-risk trigger of winds yesterday, but it's a moderate range for our rest of today and also for Monday. High temperatures tomorrow, Weaverville 97, 96 for Hayfork, winds from the south 5 to 10 miles an hour, lots of sunshine. Now when we move across the valley, a little more smoke and haze. 92 for Bernie, 92 for Fall River Mills for their highs tomorrow. As we move into the valley, Anderson 103, Cottonwood 102, 100 for the high tomorrow in Red Bluff, 102 for Palo Cedro, Corning 101, Chico's high tomorrow 95. That seems to be like the cool spot. Chico's 7-day forecast. Some hazy skies the next few days for sure. We start that warm up back into the 100-plus range by Tuesday, 103 on Wednesday, and we look to peak, it appears, on Thursday, sunshine 104. The 7-day forecast for Reading, hazy skies as well. We have weather alert days as we get towards Wednesday, and also for Thursday and Friday, the weather alert days based on the heat. Julia, back to you.
Thanks, Jeff. A pair of large wildfires burning on either side of Clear Lake, known as the Mendocino Complex, has expanded, forcing new evacuations in Lake and Colusa counties. The Mendocino Complex fire is the largest active fire in California, surpassing the Carr fire in size. So far, the ranch and river fires combined have burned more than 250,000 acres and destroyed 55 homes. Fire crews were making a stand Saturday trying to save the town of Lucerne in Lake County, where there are a lot of homes, but the fire is pushing east, causing major concerns. In all, the Mendocino Complex fires threaten more than 15,000 homes and structures. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
fires. The images coming in. New evacuation is now. Plus, earthquake disaster. More than 80 people killed when a massive quake